This is The Soul Garden, presented by me, Georgina Langdale, for the Centre for Nature Connection, and it's where we get to explore nature, compassion and soul through the inner and outer workings of living in a connected world. It's absolutely lovely to be with you here in this moment now, but boy, we are in really troubled times, aren't we? How many of us, have been struggling lately? The news is unrelentingly grim, and it feels like everything has become calamitous, and it's really hard not to feel fearful. It's like grief is never far from the surface, and I know I found myself asking, how do I navigate a path through this? Throughout history, there have been rises and falls of empires, of ages. There have been wars and famine, there's been economic growth and ecological destruction. But in our times, the images and the messages spread like the wildfires that are burning across continents right now. We see so much bad news throughout the world, coming at us through social media feeds and through media, through conversations, that it can become completely overwhelming. We, I think, are talking with friends and we find ourselves asking, how are we going to cope with all of this fear and uncertainty? Now, if you've followed my writing and podcast and videos and teaching for a while now, you'll know that my first point of call for support through tough stuff was and is and always shall be nature. But over the years, this nature-based way of navigating life has caused me to dig deeper and deeper into the ways that we've connected to nature for our health and well-being throughout time. And I really believe there's valuable wisdom from those ages past that can help us with a way of being in these unsettling times today. I was talking to someone earlier today who said, we get to a point where we just have to draw a line in the sand and say, I can't be this passive anymore. I need to consciously care for myself, my family, our community, and this world we depend upon. And I loved that she said this. Her words had a galvanizing power to them, and I think that her statement brought hope. I can't be passive in this anymore. I need to consciously care for myself and for others. There's a key concept that ripples through time and across cultures, and it's one of our intrinsic connectivity to everything around us. In the times before Descartes and machines and technology and industrial revolutions, the ancients spoke of us being a microcosm of the macrocosm. So cosmos was the term for a well-ordered universe having everything within it that is needed for life. And interestingly, the word colostrum, which is that initial mother's milk, and the word cosmos, they both share the same root, this idea of it having everything that we need within it. So us as microcosm of the macrocosm is an idea which describes us as a kind of complete universe within a universe. So in effect, the ancients are saying that we have everything, a cosmos inside us that we need for life. And then they say that how we treat each universe, each cosmos, affects the health and well-being of the other, so that basically what we put out, we receive. How we treat ourselves is a reflection of how we treat the world around us and what the world around us will treat us with. These ancients offer up wisdom for our times, and I think they help give us a roadmap through calamity. The 16th century alchemist, physician, and natural philosopher Paracelsus said that every emotion and thought we put out into the world is reflected back at us. So this can be a really confronting idea at first, because what he's saying is that if we seed our interior landscape with negativity, we will receive negativity from the universe. It is all that we kind of see and experience. It's like, you buy a yellow car and suddenly you see yellow cars everywhere. Our fearful energy becomes part of feeding the fear within society. At the same time as all this happens, our walls go up and we become isolated and scared and disconnected. And what we see is an isolated, scared, and disconnected world. Whew, that's big. Take a breath. Let it sink in. So, how is Paracelsus also inviting us to see things differently? What is the other side of the coin? We can also use Paracelsus's thinking to accentuate the positive. So, first up, let's just, take a deep breath and think about what it is we wish for us and for those we love and the places we love. What is it we wish for our community and the generations that will follow us? And I think that most people find themselves wishing for peace, for love, for happiness, for societal and environmental stability and regeneration of all that is good, abundance. Gandhi was onto it when he said, that we need to be the change we want to see in this world. He is basically saying what the ancients said, what Paracelsus said, that what we think and feel and put out into the world, we receive. We think good thoughts, we create a good world. Thankfully, there are many people who also think that if we all raised our consciousness with feelings of actions of love and compassion and care for our human and non-human world, then maybe there's a chance to turn this ship around. We need to turn thinking into doing and connecting in the best, most compassionate and loving way possible. So, while the natural response to current times may be to run for the hills and hide away from others, there is in fact more to be gained. There's a more positive outcome from connecting with others who are also doing all they can to radiate love out into the world and, importantly, to take compassionate action. We don't need to feel so alone. There is a tribe of us out there wanting to create a deep shift in consciousness to create a better future for all. Now, no one's saying this is easy, but there are things we can do to help move past the fear and the rising anxiety of these times. So let's have a look. Buddhists speak and Buddhism speaks of being in this moment now, of not holding on to thoughts, or not gripping onto the past while prophesizing the future, and they call this non-attachment. At first, this idea of non-attachment can sound remote, it can sound detached, but actually what they're doing is wonderful. This Buddhist thought of non-attachment is helping us not grip fear tightly. They're letting it go. It's fear is not taking root in their inner world. Buddhism and Buddhists, they're helping us navigate the present. They're giving us ways to be in this moment right now, and it's this moment right now that matters, that just is. We're not in the past. We're not in the future. We're here in this present moment. So it's up to us to define for ourselves what this moment looks like. And so, what if it looked like love? Another more contemporary take on this comes from the Course in Miracles, which says pretty much right up front at the beginning of the book, what is not real cannot hurt you. What is not real cannot hurt you. This can be a really valuable mantra for helping disconnect from and let go of the negative thoughts and catastrophizing that one can do when things start getting a bit much. Being able to stop and think, this is just a thought. It's a fictional dramatization that I'm creating. It has not happened, and it is not happening at this moment. This is not real, and so it cannot hurt me. Wow. This can really help in unhooking oneself from the grip of fearful thoughts and emotions. When we journey back through time, and I know in all the studying and reading and scholarly work that I've been doing, when I've journeyed back through time with the Buddhists or mystics, philosophers, abbesses and priests, one finds that the myriad spiritual and religious paths and faith paths all can eventually meet in one place. And I see that as a place that is connected to nature, connected to cosmos, and is all about love. Love for each other, love for ourselves, love for this world. Love nourishes our soul. It makes our world brighter. Love is the soil and the seed. And the ancients tell us that by starting with our own inner world first, by finding a place of connection and love within us, we can create harmony in the outer world too. You could relate this to quantum theory as well. Quanta isn't in two places at once. So there is the us and what we're feeling inside of us. And then there is the us that is that feeling out in the world. So if we have love within us, we will be and connect to the love in the world around us. In her Gospels, Mary of Magdalene said, every nature, every modelled form, every creature exists in and with each other. So I'm going to read that again. Every nature, every modelled form, every creature exists in and with each other. So what she's saying is that we are all things. And all things are us. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And if we have love in our hearts, then there's love in all hearts and in the way we are with each other, with everything. Okay, so I realize you maybe have got to a point in this and you're listening, you're going, God, all this talk about love, it's really hard to feel love for everything when there's so much terrible stuff going on right now. And I really do hear you. But look, we have to be getting ourselves in a place of being able to show up for our community, to be there with care, to make decisions that help our world, help our environment. We've got to put some of these fires out. We need to be sowing seeds for harvests tomorrow, and we want those harvests to be good. So that's why I'm talking about love. We need to see the sacred in everyday life, in the decisions we make, in our ability to move through and fix this crisis that we're in right now. So, what would our own resilience look like if we can face these challenging and sometimes frightening times with love as our default position? Some call this the via positiva, or the beauty way. And the modern day mystic Andrew Harvey calls it sacred activism. And I've decided that my form of sacred activism is to do my bit in this community of collectively conscious and compassionate beings, to bring this wisdom out into the light, to help people help themselves, each other, and this planet through these troubled times. What if our conscious acts of everyday love were the medicine that could help us create a better future? A better future not just for us, but for future generations too. Now, that sounds like something I'd love to be part of. Shamans say that every thought, every action we have and make will ripple down the next 7 generations. So they're inviting us to think about what it is we wish to ripple down the years. What is the legacy that we would like to leave behind us, that you would like to leave behind for the future generations coming after you? This makes me think that the legacy I would love to leave, to ripple down through the future generations, is a legacy of love rather than a legacy of feeding fear. And surely if enough of us nurture love in our inner world and actively take that inner love out into the world, then we can be part of creating the change needed in this world right now. Love can be manifested in a multitude of ways. And it's a bit like, the airline safety announcements, that we need to start by putting the oxygen mask on ourselves first. And in doing so, we can help others. So we need to show love to ourselves first. Fill our inner world with love rather than fear, so that we can step up and help others. We are in really difficult times, but there are things we can do to help the way we navigate this and take action to be the change we're wishing for in this world. We can't give up on love, and we can care for our inner cosmos in order that we can actively care for our outer cosmos too. I believe that the ancients have much to teach us about how we might navigate a path through the times we find ourselves in now. It takes work to find this place of stillness, to create moments of peace and compassionate action in chaos. But those ancients, they give us the wisdom to help us to do it. This is their legacy rippling down through the ages, their gifts given to help us in this moment now. And I am going to do all I can to be part of helping share this wisdom to help us all through this. And I'm going to finish today's podcast with a short meditation visualization. Thank you for listening. You can check out some of my courses and coaching offerings on my website, georginalnature.com. And I really wish you well. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. And in being kind to yourself, you can help bring kindness to those around you and in the world beyond. This is a short meditation that I've called the Cosmos Meditation. Get yourself comfortable, sit down somewhere, feel your feet on the ground, maybe your back against the back of your chair, or you could be lying down, just somewhere comfortable, somewhere for you. And take a few beautiful, slow, deep breaths in and out. I sit quietly and focus on my breath, the slow pull of the in-breath and the gentle release of the out-breath. I picture my soul nestled inside me, inside my interior world, my interior cosmos, one with landscapes and plants and animals, oceans and rivers, and I breathe in love. Love for all of this and my soul within it. And I breathe out love, love from my inner world to the world outside, from my inner cosmos to outer cosmos. I picture myself as a microcosm of the macrocosm, a universe within a universe. Breathing in love, breathing out love. Inner and outer worlds become calmer. We become the Buddha under the tree, the shaman by the fire, the abbess in the garden. We find peace in this moment, right now. We imagine love connecting in this moment, my love with every other person on this planet, also breathing in love and breathing out love. We create, through our breath, a communion of souls united in love and in loving, compassionate action. We smile at the thought of this. And then I imagine this love like a golden light, like the sun rising and rolling back the shadows, giving us all the strength and the confidence and the resilience we need to move forward again. Breathing in love, breathing out love for our inner and our outer cosmos. A new day dawns. When you're ready, just come back into your body. Feel yourself connecting to your world, your cosmos, your universe. Feel yourself in relation to the room you're in or the place in nature that you're in. Imagine yourself connecting to everybody else on this planet right now who's hoping and wishing and praying and ushering in a better future for us all.